Hello, hello, welcome back to our YouTube channel, and this is the Red Night. So I wanted to talk about the Java development. So when I was doing my bachelor degree in computer science, I used to hate Java because every teacher, every lecturer was teaching me Java, and he was doing it the wrong way. He was just bringing this assignment he wanted to teach us, and he ended up just cheating, also going back and forth to Google search, and sometimes the code he had was not running. And sometimes something I hate myself doing back then is because I used to hate Java for no reason. And for that reason, really, it cost me 3 years of development of some of the software we have been building side and for myself and for clients, where I wasted a lot of time trying to use the wrong programming language and for the wrong job. So, and now I said, okay, now it is a time to think about why do I really hate Java and why do I really don't like Java. So I had to think about it and really come back to my sense and think about why do I really hate Java. So then I come to conclusion is like one of the reason is that I was paranoia and I didn't have enough reason to hate Java back then. So now I decided to give it a shot because it is something I learned for maybe 2 years at the university. I know a lot of data structure. I know a lot of algorithm that I used to solve, like such as binary search and so forth. I used to do that well with Java, but I didn't find anything I can do with Java because back then I was a web developer. I wanted to create a second Facebook and I wanted to make sure that I can make it happen. So with Java, I didn't see how. At least my teacher really didn't encourage me to know where and how I can use it to my benefit. For example, I didn't know that you can build Java website and I thought maybe Java was for only doing the console app or any other things that our lecturer was showing us. So even our lecturer didn't push us to go a little bit further from what they were teaching us, which was really nothing. It was just printing two numbers on the screen and it's done. And which I strongly believe that was the bad way of teaching. So now I want to also introduce you to Java, and this is not a normal Java that you are learning from the class. I know a lot of engineers, a lot of students from computer science, you rely so much from your lecturers, from your teachers, but really no one is going to teach you because they don't know. Sorry, I was a little bit cut from the stream because of the internet, but so I was saying that I had no reason to hate Java. So for that reason, I decided to give it a shot so that I can just start using it on my daily life. And soon I used also to hate Microsoft, and that's why I didn't care about the technology of Microsoft. But right now I'm changing. I'm shift. For example, in near future I'm going to start running the .NET and plus the other technology like the universal window program. So I'm going to run all of those technology because I don't want just to hate something for no reason. So now this is the Springboard. So what is a Springboard actually? A Springboard is a framework, Java framework that is going to help you to build a Java application. So now when you come to this URL here, which I'm going to put it in comment section, you're going to be able to bootstrap the Springboard application. So, and when you dealing with Java, we have two core technologies, if I can say. We have like Java and we have Kotlin. These are the main competitor we have at the market now. So now, if you are familiar with Kotlin, fine, just go with Kotlin. So, but if you are familiar with Java, which I strongly advise you to do because a lot of tutorials, a lot of code samples is going to be in Java, even though you can change the Java code to be the Kotlin because inter, inter it is interchangeable, so it is so easy for you to switch both the languages. But I highly advise you to use Java for now because I used to use Kotlin, but I know the differences now, so I don't have to use any shiny new programming language that really doesn't have anything to add to the table except the sugar synthetic design, which really doesn't add any much of the value except those little shiny stuff. So now here you need to choose if you want to use Marvin or Gradle. So if you don't know about Java and Java Springboard in general, so in Java we have something called Gradle or Marvin, and these are the engine that is going to help us to compile the Java code into some jar or other consumable product. So the Marvin is popular one and it is very easy to use compared to the Gradle. But the beautiful of using Gradle is that you are going to take the same knowledge and transfer it to the mobile development such as Android. And if you use Gradle, it's going to be a little bit fun and easy, but that is not a must. So and here you're going to choose the Springboard version that you're going to use. And this is so important because a lot of Springboard version doesn't is not compatible with the other dependencies that you might be looking for. So and also again in programming. So in Java we decide like which Java we are going to depend on. Is it going to be Java 15, Java 11 or Java 8? So I highly recommend to go with the default option that they have here. So then here you need to choose the package, and the package is sort of the further structure you're going to have in order for your code base to be navigatable. And for now, you can write your domain name in reverse order. So if your domain name is for example richard.com, then your package or group is going to be com.richard. So it's your domain name in reverse order. So once you have that concept now, you can add the dependencies here. So here is where you're going to add some dependencies, which is going to help you guys to be able to be up and running. For example, I can add Rambok, which is an annotation library that is going to help us to avoid a lot of boilerplates. I think this is fun. I can add it, and I can add the web. So this web is going to help us to create the RESTful application, such as the endpoint and so on. So this is something I need. I'm going to add it, and I'm going to add this. REST repository. I think I don't need it, but I can need something else. So, for example, I can add Vaadin, which is also which is you know, like if you don't know about the Vaadin, is just like Angular but for Java. So with Vaadin you can be able to create the beautiful application using complete Java, which is something really I think is important. So now here we are still in the process of originating a project we want. So I'm going to call it rw.flipper, and I'm going to call it flipper, and we are ready to go. Let me see if I can see any other dependencies I can be interested in. Of course, you can add any other dependencies you want after you have already generated your your code base. So now we have it. Now we can generate the project. So what you need to do is to create this generate button, and it's going to generate a button, I mean a project for you guys in order for you to save it. I'm going to save it, and I'm going to come back once the download is complete. So now once the download is complete, so now I'm going to share you another, like the complete, like I have opened the folder in the VS Code, which is the editor I prefer to use nowadays. So now you can see that I have Flipper inside my VS Code. So now, and what we're going to do here is just to make sure that we run this default project. But I want to explain to you guys what do we have here. We have source folder, and we have this text, this main, and we have this resource folder. And inside we have application.properties, and this is where you define all of your properties that your application is going to use really. So the way we're going to do it, we have Marvin. So make sure that if you don't know how to install the Marvin so that it can be discoverable inside the terminal, please let me know in the comment. I will make another second video to explain how you can have the Marvin under your terminal. So now I have Marvin package. I mean Marvin Springboard. Remember, this is a Springboard, and you have to run it. So this command is going to run the project the first time if we don't have the dependencies. But let me explain what is dependencies. So in Java development website Springboard, we have something called pom.xml. So this file is going to define all the dependencies we want so that we can be able to run there to run our application. For example, if our application is really need to have Rambook, it's going to insert it and be able to put the jar files inside our project so that we can start coding. So that's why if I run this command springboard run, it's going to scan my project and it's going to install everything. So that you can see that it's going to download all the dependencies we want so that we can start coding. So that is the basic things we need to make sure that it is covered. And once everything is installed, then we're going to be ready to move on to our application when it's started. So I'm going to just minimize that and go to Flipper applications. So you can see here we have the main function, and this is where, like, if you know Java, the main function is where everything starts, like is where our application is going to start from. So, and that is very clear for us that our application is going to start calling these Flipper applications, which is this one, and it's going to start. just like that. So the annotation we have here is doing is Springboard things in order to do all it is required for us to get up and running. So it's going to install all the dependencies, and after that, I think we'll be ready to go. So you can see that it is installing the dependencies, and and something also I wanted to talk about is just this folder. You can see here we have the static folder and you have template folder. And this is where you put your resources. Like in website, we have something called resources. We have assets, which can be files, the images, the JavaScript files, and so forth. And yeah, that's what we have for the basics. And once the download is complete, we'll be having the Springboard application up and running. So I also wanted to talk about like why the installation is going on. What you can do to support this channel, guys, is just to follow our YouTube channel. Make sure that you share to your friends so that we hit the milestone. So like we will have the milestone of like having 1,000 subscriber these 3 months to come. And if you can help us to share the video to a lot of people so that we can create the education content at our free time, because like we're doing it you can see that the video is recorded late night because that's when I have the free time, so that I can help you guys to become software engineers that you want to be. And if also you like the video and comment, it help the YouTube algorithm to share the video to a lot of people, because can be happy to see the video shared to the students who are still struggling to become a software engineer. And if we can help them as much as we can, would be something that we feel so much privileged to do. So yeah, installation is going to take a little bit of time, and if you have a slow internet, also it's going to be also a little bit slow. But that is the cost of just having the Springboard up and running. So most like other programming languages or framework such as Angular, React. So you need to at least something to install in order for you to get started. So you need to install something to your machine, which is called dependencies. So the dependencies are the things you really need for your application to be able to run. So once you have those dependencies installed, everything is just pretty much simple and easy to navigate to. So yeah, I was just saying like, why do we need to have the why do we need to create the community? Like if you see this video and you want to be engineer, and someone else really want to be engineer, like the way you can do that is to share the video to your friends, so that we create like the opportunity you have to see the video is just shared to other people, and that is so important. And if you can do that, really, that would be so awesome. So, and again, if you want to see more of Java Springboard application, please let me know in the comment section so that I can do a lot of videos about Springboard and Java in general. So I shared my stories of like how I learned Java at my bachelor degree when I was doing computer science. Like all of lecturers really showed something simple, something I cannot use in production. Like if you're going to work for a company where Java is just doing things. So, and, the thing I used to see really was just something like I can think of, like where are these things going to be useful? Like like everyone really learned about the the binary search, the algorithm. Those things are good for computer science. And but really, those things doesn't require you to use Java in order to solve the binary search things. And sometimes the Java part was just the introduction and adding numbers and so forth. And I think the same scenarios, the same story goes on to the same students that really um, are facing the same challenges. And that's what I really faced. It took me like almost 2 years to come up on my feet because really I needed a lot of support. I needed to do a lot of search in order to understand the industry of software engineering. So, and that's why I want to cut the time you would spend yourself searching on the internet, and sometimes you don't find anything useful, or if you find it, you don't have the right guidance for you guys to be able to be up and running on your feet. And that's where I think to be so much helpful. If you like a video, subscribe, share to your friends, so that we can bring the community to the right place. So there's a lot of things like I'm planning to do during my free time, which is mostly in the weekends, and then at a sometimes when I'm free, specifically in the weekends, and that really to create the community of software engineers that can you know create something that can create softwares, you know and so looking back to the terminal, it's still downloading the dependencies required to in order for us to be up and running. It takes sometimes and sometimes it goes between 2 minutes to 5 minutes depending on the internet speed you have. So and also it goes to how many dependencies you have inside your Springboard project, because the more dependencies you have, the more downloads is going to be required, which I believe is just something you know you can work on. Like if you don't want just to take a lot of speed, you cannot add the dependencies, all of those dependencies you want to add. Yeah. So it seems like the download is completed. So now you can see that now we're starting, and it's going to bind the port that we are going to be able to navigate to, and that's what it's going to do after the bootstrap is started. So basically, the Java Spring Boot application start on port 8080, and that's where it gets started. If you see that, console here, you can see that the project really started on port 8080. And if I start the project, so I'm going to start the project on port 8080, and it's going to take some times. And because remember I have enabled Vaadin, which is the UI framework for Java, and by default it doesn't assume that I'm going to use it. So until I visit the web, now it's going to just try to make sure that the Vaadin is properly implemented, is properly imported. So it's going to take some time, as you can see on my terminal, that after I bootstrap in the project, then the Vaadin is going to do its thing. So that's what it's going to do so far. And I will be back. So yeah, so you can see that it's storing the Vaadin package dependencies, because if you see now here we have the node modules, and node module is something that is being added by the Vaadin, which is the UI part of Java, framework. So maybe I can explain a little bit of what is Vaadin. So I keep talking about Vaadin, and let me just share with you what is Vaadin. So basically, Vaadin is just Java framework for building the UI. So I'm going to share you with what is Vaadin. So let me share with you what is this. So you can see it on the screen now. Platform for building web apps in Java. So now you ask yourself, how does Vaadin is going to work with Springboard? So well, you can build the Vue.js, the React, and so forth. So if you don't have those skills and you have only Java skills, it will be enough. You'll be ready to go. But you need to know, like, for example, if you want to build a simple UI like this one here, you'll be doing this Java stuff and you'll be ready to go, right? But you need to make sure that, so maybe I will have to copy these examples so you can see it. Free stuff. You need to pay it and a lot of money. So I don't want to go in much into details, but they have the open source part but you may find yourself violating the privacy, the pricing strategy they have, and you may end up paying a lot of money. So from my perspective, at least that's how I think. So that's why I don't like using it, but I wanted to mention it because a lot of Java developer have the issue of how do we get started? We don't want to learn new stuff like React, Angular, what UI framework you can use with Java. So I want to talk about it a little bit, and I think that is enough. Okay, let me see if my app is able to start. So I'm going to copy this code base here. So I'm going to do what? I'm going to do simple stuff like I'm going to create a new. So I'm going to go here in source main Java, and I'm going to add this method here. I'm going to create a new class, and I'm going to call it hello world or Java, and I'm going to paste the same class here. I'm going to save the class. Let me see if it works. And I'm going to visit the same class and see. So I'm going to run it again just to confirm that everything is working. So right now at this point is not going to download anything because everything is already downloaded. But it seems like there is a problem. Hmm. Okay, so I'm going to call it. So I'm going to rename this further because that's what it is saying actually. So I'm going to rename it to head of view. Yeah. So Java is so much sensitive of the file name should be equal, like the file name should be equal to the class name. So that's something you need to know if you want to know Java Springboard. So now it's going to start, and what what is going on here now? I think I need to import. I need to import this. Okay, now I need to pause on this, and we'll be back and after time. So, but for because this video was for experimenting, I want to know if you really want to see more of Springboard, so I can go deep. If you can tell me through the comments, so I can find my time in my free time and do this stream again. But yeah, I think at least now you learned how to start a Springboard project and how to get up and running. And Remy, thank you so much.